Well, it certainly was a historical homecoming week for James Madison University. The campus was electric with the visit of ESPN's College Game Day. But unfortunately, the things were spoiled just a bit by the Richmond Spiders, who won the Shenandoah Valley Shootout. 59-49 was the final. Hello, everyone. I'm Kurt Dudley here with Coach Everett Withers on the Coach Everett Withers TV show. And, of course, we'll get to the game in just a moment. Right. Reese Davis in the open against Game Day, they showed Bridgeforth Stadium, and he identified it as kind of a hidden gem of college football. And then James Madison, a hidden university as far as a gem is concerned around the United States. What a tremendous week for JMU as a nation.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a very good week for the JMU Nation, all the alum, the students, the community of Harrisonburg. I thought it was really neat for everybody. It's good to be able to have that opportunity for a game day telecast to come back and do something here in a beautiful part of the country.
And you used that opportunity to unveil a new helmet as well, and you had the team there. It seemed like the folks at ESPN, this was almost a unique experience for them as well in the reports that we're receiving.
Well, I think it was the first time they actually had an entire team on the Saturday set of Game Day, and to do something like this to unveil the helmet. I'd like to thank Larry Cotto and the Alpha Dogs for obviously helping us with the equipment and some of the things that we do with our team. But yeah, it was unique for ESPN, and it was a good experience for our kids.
And ESPN got a bump in the ratings, in fact, 8%. Yeah. So the Dukes did something for the national audience, very, very much so there. All right, Coach, it was a physical game. Mm-hmm. Both teams had players go out. Right. Even an official left the ball game. That's how right. Physical the game was. Let's first of all kind of bring everybody up to date, if you would, with the injury situation.
Right. Well, right now 3 guys are injured and out for this week. Charles Tutt broke a fibula in the ball game, so he's out and be out for the rest of the year. John Miller, who was hurt on kickoff return, is actually doing well. He will not play this week, but we expect him back in a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. And obviously the quarterback, Van Lee, hurt his left foot. Swelling was in that foot. He's out indefinitely right now.
All right, Coach. Now, I haven't had a chance to look at the game tape to review it, but I have looked at statistics, and I think it does come down to, I'm not going to dispute you at all, because when you said on Saturday night, JMU's defense was not as good as Richmond's offense, and that was really the difference.
Yeah, that was really the difference. They did an unbelievable job offensively of running the football and then being able to throw off of the run game. And hats off to the opponent for doing a good job of mixing plays and getting themselves in situations where they weren't in a bunch of 3rd and longs, being able to keep the ball. You know, the strategy against our football team is to keep the ball away from our offense. And they did probably as good a job as we've had anybody do this year. So hats off to their coaches, their players. They played extremely hard. They played extremely physical. So hats off to them.
You seemed a little disappointed with not matching their physicality.
Yep.
How do you train? How do you dictate the physicality, the standard that you want to set in that particular aspect of the game of football?
Well, you know, we practice in a physical manner, and we hope that would translate to Saturdays, and it has up until this past Saturday. You know, hopefully this is just a bump in the road for us. We're not going to train any different than what we've done all year long. We're going to, you know, maybe cut back on some reps because we're getting at that point in time of the year. But the way we practice is the way we practice. And Tuesdays is a very physical day for us. Wednesday is a semi-physical day for us. So we're going to continue to do that throughout the year.
You know what was remarkable? We've talked about this. It's so much possessions. How many possessions you get in a game? You had, even including the fumble on the last kickoff that the Dukes experienced, you had 11 possessions. Right. You scored on 7 of those 11 possessions, which is actually a higher rate.
Right.
So offensively, you did what you needed to do to get the game won.
Yeah, we did, but there were 2 possessions there in the second half that we didn't come away with points, and we punted, that we felt like, you know, we hurt ourselves with penalties and those type things. So there were still 2 other possessions that we felt like we needed points. We knew we were struggling stopping them, so every time we had the ball, we needed to score, and we had 2 possessions that we did.
That seemed to be the obvious pivotal point, but you were saying, as we had an earlier conversation, you thought the game was actually turning in the second quarter. Why was that?
Well, I just felt like that they were just more physical than us, coming off the ball and and finishing things, and we weren't on defense. And no matter how good your offense is going, if you can't get them off the field on defense, it's really just too hard to keep up the pace offensively to say you got to score every time. We got to get some stops on defense, and obviously we didn't do a very good job of that.
Now the opponent pulled out kind of an early wrinkle too. They stole an extra possession by getting that onside kick. Was that also an area where you thought, oh, this is going to be a concern now?
Well, they did a great job. They did some things schematically that forced us to be a little bit out of position. Which again, it's great coaching by their players. We didn't do a good job of seeing the ball kicked, and they stole a possession from us. We try to do that occasionally with our kickoff team. They did a nice job. So obviously they stole a possession. That's part of that plan that people use against us to try to get an extra possession.
You did come out in the second half and you scored just as you typically do. But these drives, they took a little longer. It took a little more time off the clock and took a few more possessions. Was the tempo what you wanted it to be?
Well, it was. They were doing some things defensively that we were, having an audible play, so it slowed us down a little bit. They had a nice plan on defense to try to make us go the long haul, which is, typically what people try to do to us. And we didn't have the big play strikes. We didn't have the big gains in the run game like we've had. And to me, that was a little bit of the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, if you look at it, Richmond had many more explosive plays than the Dukes did on Saturday as well. Well, Brian Shore comes in after Badley goes out with the injury. We don't know what the whole situation is there. But I had a lot of folks, they were impressed with the way that Brian came out. And you have said you're only as good as your two deep.
Right.
And Brian is your two deep.
Well, that's the key to any football team that wins at a high level. You better have a 1 and a 2, and the 2 better be a very high-level player. Brian came in, did an unbelievable job, took us down for 2 touchdown scores, and we have a lot of faith and confidence in his ability. He's a very athletic quarterback. He can throw it, he can run it. So it's just a matter of getting him out there and getting him his opportunity.
His style of running is obviously quite different than Vad. He seems to be much more of a power running quarterback, if you would. And it was an impressive run on the 4th down situation.
Right. He did a nice job lowering his shoulder and getting the extra yards. And he's got some niftiness about him too. He's not a slow guy by any means.
Give us a little bit of a profile on him. Just a little bit background and what he is like as an individual.
Well, I think he's a very cerebral quarterback. Sometimes too cerebral a quarterback, but a very smart, very attention to detail guy in the game plan. Knows the offense inside out. Sometimes overthinks things, but I think that's just part of his makeup. People don't know this. Brian was a Miami of Ohio commit and was going, actually a signee, and was going to Miami of Ohio and then transferred to Lackawanna because of a staff change. So here's another FBS quarterback that we have on our roster. So we expect really good things out of Brian moving forward.
Okay, very good, Coach. I'm going to go back also talk a little bit about the fraternity of college football. And when John Miller was hurt, and what you're instilling here from a cultural standpoint, when a player gets hurt and you've got other players that are just so emotionally attached here, is it even more so now with the culture that you've instilled that it can be a much more difficult situation, much more emotional situation?
Well, yeah. These kids care about each other, and they care about each other not only on the field but off the field, and they spend a lot of time together. So when one of their brothers goes down, man, they're really concerned. Damo Taylor, who went to school with John Miller and very close to John Miller, would struggled a little bit, with seeing John laying out there on the field. So, it's that way. I wouldn't change it. I want it to be that way, and it may have affected our team, but really the objective is these kids care about each other, and that's the bottom line.
All right. You say you need to get more physical. Is there what? And you try not to alter. You try not to change your routine.
Right.
But once you've had a game like this, still the same? You don't change your routine? Just keep right on rolling?
Yeah, no routine changes. We'll go to practices like we normally practice, and I think our kids are really anxious to get back at it and to get that taste out of their mouth.
Again, it did snap a 14-game regular season win streak, and probably the worst taste the Dukes have had in their mouths since the loss to Liberty last year. Sunday was a difficult day. But you're fortunate they don't come very often.
Right. Well, our kids, Sunday was a tough day to go out and go out and practice because of the loss. But I think our kids kind of get it. They understand that when you lose, you have to go through the things you have to go through to get ready for the next week. So I expect our kids to be ready to play Saturday.
So the challenge is to get back on a roll, and they'll face the Tribe of William & Mary on the road this week. We'll talk about the Tribe later in the show. After this timeout, we'll hear from a couple of the assistant coaches with our Chalk Talk on the Coach Everett Withers Show.
Harrisonburg Nissan's factory-authorized year-end clearance sale is going on now. Harrisonburg Nissan has all in-stock 2015 Nissans priced at or below factory invoice. And you keep the rebates. 0% financing on Nissan Altima, Rogue, Sentra. All invoices clearly posted. Savings up to and over $8,000. We're clearing out the 15s to make room for the 16s. Now's the best time to buy. Harrisonburg Nissan's factory-authorized year-end clearance sale. Going on now. Check us out 24/7. HarrisonburgNissan.com.
Products, we buy right so you can too.
That's right. At Office Products, we do things right. With our multi-million-dollar inventory of new, used, and refurbished furniture, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. From desks to chairs, filing cabinets, and so much more.
All the major brands that you're looking for. Office Products, we buy right so you can too.
Office Products, we do things right.
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
Welcome to Valley Building Supply of Harrisonburg, formerly known as Valley Blocks. We've combined with the Valley Building Supply chain to offer a wider range of products and services to our customers. Visit our newly remodeled showroom to see the latest from Anderson. We also carry interior and exterior doors in a variety of styles and finishes, and custom hardwood flooring and moldings. We are your Shenandoah Valley masonry experts. Our expanded inventory now includes more tools and builder's hardware than ever before. Let Valley Building Supply show you how to create the home of your dreams from foundation to finish.
JMU Nation, how are you? Steve Cecil, defensive coordinator for your JMU Dukes. Just want to start off by thanking everybody for their unbelievable support last week. The enthusiasm for the game and for homecoming was unbelievable, and I want to thank you for that. Certainly disappointed with our efforts on defense, but just kind of want to show you at least one of our silver linings that we had during the game. One of the better plays that we had. This is early in the second quarter, late in the first quarter. And obviously from the game you could see they had two really good receivers on the outside edges that we tried to double most of the game. And here what you'll see is basically a cover two concept where you have the corners playing underneath the routes and the two safeties playing on top of the routes. And then we've actually got man coverage underneath. And what you'll see is very difficult for the quarterback to complete a pass here. End up getting some pretty good pressure here by the defensive end, forcing him to throw the ball away into double coverage. And as you watch the back shot, again, you'll see Justin Wellens with man coverage on the tight end. Nice job by Brandon Brown coming back out to force the throw it into double coverage for the incompletion. So thank you guys again for all your support. Look forward to seeing you guys again down in Williamsburg at William & Mary. And I can assure you we're working very hard to make sure that we got a great representation for you guys on Saturday. Thank you guys. Go Dukes.
Thanks, Coach Cisa. Appreciate it. I'm Coach K, the co-offense coordinator, running backs coach for JMU. And real quick, I want to show you a play from this past Saturday against Richmond where Vad Lee hit Dean Cheam on an explosive to keep us in the game at a pivotal moment. So right here, as you can see, it's in the second quarter, 6 minutes left. Richmond did a good job of keeping the ball away from us. They're up by 4 right now, and we've got ourselves in a little situation here of being 2nd and 17 after a penalty, which we don't like to do. And what we're going to run here is, we got our Dice Louie right here, 2x2 set, and we're going to run what we call kind of our scissors option concept. where our #1 receiver is going to run a big post. Our #2 receiver right here, Dean Cheatham, is going to run a corner route. And our running back is going to have the option, depending on leverage on the linebacker, if he wants to break out here to the boundary or out here to the field. Let's take a look at it. Vad does a great job of calling the protection at the line. Gets it all set up. Takes a snap. Good play action ride to get the linebackers to come up. And right now we got just a best match scenario with the DBs taking our receivers one-on-one, almost like a man coverage. Dean Cheatham does a great job of sending this thing inside, beat him over the top. Vad throws a perfect ball, and boom. Great play made by Dean Cheatham and Vad Lee to get the first down and help us drive to get back on top. Let's look at it from the end zone real quick. Dom and Vad, great job. Be on the same page of protection. Here we go. Vad's going to take the snap. Boom. Good footwork, good ride. Good job by Carter Johnson there, selling it. Great sell by the O-line. Great protection. Great protection right here by Aaron Stinney. Vad just throws a dime. Dean beats his man, makes a heck of a play, gets the first down, and the series keeps rolling for the touchdown. Appreciate all you guys' support from this past weekend. Come see us in Williamsburg this coming Saturday to go take on the Tribe. Thanks, guys, and go Dukes.
Thank you very much there, gentlemen. Well, during homecoming weekend, I had the delightful pleasure of sitting down with Lou Campanelli, the basketball coach for the Dukes during the early 80s and actually into the 70s as well. He has written a book called Dare to Dream. And during that interview, we're going to excerpt a little for you and share it with you here on the Coach Everett Withers Show.
Harrisonburg Nissan's factory-authorized year-end clearance sale is going on now. Harrisonburg Nissan has all in-stock 2015 Nissans priced at or below factory invoice. And you keep the rebates. 0% financing on Nissan Altima, Rogue, Sentra. All invoices clearly posted. Savings up to and over $8,000. We're clearing out the 15s to make room for the 16s. Now's the best time to buy. Harrisonburg Nissan's factory-authorized year-end clearance sale. Going on now. Check us out 24/7. HarrisonburgNissan.com.
Welcome to Valley Building Supply of Harrisonburg, formerly known as Valley Blocks. We've combined with the Valley Building Supply chain to offer a wider range of products and services to our customers. Visit our newly remodeled showroom to see the latest from Andersen. We also carry interior and exterior doors in a variety of styles and finishes, and custom hardwood flooring and moldings. We are your Shenandoah Valley masonry experts. Our expanded inventory now includes more tools and builder's hardware than ever before. Let Valley Building Supply show you how to create the home of your dreams from foundation to finish.
Office products, we buy right so you can too.
That's right. At Office Products, we do things right. With our multi-million-dollar inventory of new, used, and refurbished furniture, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. From desks to chairs, filing cabinets, and so much more.
All the major brands that you're looking for. Office products, we buy right so you can too.
Office Products, we do things right.
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
Well, the fall of 2015 is already historical in many proportions for James Madison University athletics, and there are certainly times in JMU's athletic history that you can go back and look at very fondly, and one of those times goes back to the early 1980s when the JMU men's basketball Dukes made 3 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament, and in the process beat the likes of West Virginia, Georgetown, and Ohio State. Well, we're welcoming in a gentleman who has, well, he was the leader of that basketball program at the time, Lou Campanelli. And Coach Campy has written a book, and we're delighted to have them with us here today as we're going to talk about the book, Dare to Dream. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. First of all, Coach Campanelli, welcome back to James Madison University.
It's great to be back. I can't believe the growth. It's incredible.
It certainly is. And also the author, Dave Newhouse, so we'll talk with him as well about the book today. And Lou, take us back a little bit. Where did this idea emerge that this was going to be a worthy enough topic to put from, ink to paper here?
First of all, the idea came from Dr. Carey to write the book. We had a phone call one day, and I was telling war stories, and next thing you know, he goes, "Coach, you ought to write a book." And I said, my wife said the same thing. So then I decided I need help, and I contacted Dave, who had just retired. But it was a unique story. When I told it to Dave, he said, this is a unique story, unlike any in college athletics. Of course we should write it.
How enjoyable was that for you as an author to learn of all these stories?
Well, it's really interesting when you think that a 2-point loss to Michael Jordan, James Worthy, and Sam Perkins in North Carolina in the tournament could be maybe the greatest, most memorable, if not the greatest game in JMU history. It might be the most memorable. How often do you find a 2-point loss being the most memorable sports story at a school? But I think it's a really good story. I mean, if you're looking for like a Horatio Alger story, rags to riches kind of thing, where else would you get a more heartfelt story than this little girls' school that goes co-ed, and with this visionary academician? There's nobody, I've never met an academician in or out of sports like Dr. Carey. He truly is one of a kind. And for what he and Lou and Dean Ellers and those players accomplished, you know, the reunion here on this weekend, 30 of his players are coming back. I mean, how many coaches could get 30 of their players to come back? I think it's a great testimony to Lou that this is happening.
The Dare to Dream, where did the title come from?
I think that encompasses both my dream and Dr. Carey's. He was looking beyond, and I was dreaming to build a top-notch college program. And because with Dr. Carey, one of the first questions he asked me in the interview, my first interview, he said, Coach, you think you could build me a program as good as Old Dominion in about 4 or 5 years? I said, absolutely. I didn't even know where the hell Old Dominion was. But I was not, I wanted the job. I saw the campus. Garment Hall was just being dedicated. And I said, I could build a program here. So I just gave him the right answer. I thought what he wanted to hear. But in the back of his mind, I think he knew that this school could be bigger than little old Madison College.
Very good. Lou, I want to give you an opportunity, some parting words here. You're back on campus once again to be back here where we're talking about all this took place.
Well, it's heartwarming, and you really feel a sense of pride because you helped start this athletic program. We got the ball rolling with the basketball, and to see where it is now, to see the explosion on the campus with the beautiful new buildings, it's incredible. Little Madison College has come a long way, and it looks as pretty as ever. And I'm just delighted to be back, and I hope we have a great turnout tomorrow at the book signing.
All right, very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Lou Campanelli, former coach of the JMU Dukes, and of course the author Dave Newhouse. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you.
Harrisonburg Nissan has all in-stock 2015 Nissans priced at or below factory invoice. And you keep a rebate. 0% financing on Nissan Altima, Rogue, Sentra. All invoices clearly posted. Savings up to and over $8,000. We're clearing out the 15s to make room for the 16s. Now's the best time to buy. Harrisonburg Nissan's factory authorized year-end clearance sale. Going on now. Check us out 24/7. HarrisonburgNissan.com.
Welcome to Valley Building Supply of Harrisonburg, formerly known as Valley Blocks. We've combined with the Valley Building Supply chain to offer a wider range of products and services to our customers. Visit our newly remodeled showroom to see the latest from Anderson. We also carry interior and exterior doors in a variety of styles and finishes, and custom hardwood flooring and moldings. We are your Shenandoah Valley masonry experts. Our expanded inventory now includes more tools and builder's hardware than ever before. Let Valley Building Supply show you how to create the home of your dreams from foundation to finish.
Office products we buy right so you can too.
That's right. At Office Products, we do things right. With our multi-million-dollar inventory of new, used, and refurbished furniture, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. From desks to chairs, filing cabinets, and so much more.
All the major brands that you're looking for. Office products we buy right so you can too.
Office Products, we do things right.
Clear to zip. Break a little. Good job. Game on.
Welcome back, everyone. The Dukes on the road this week. They're heading down to Colonial City of Williamsburg and Zabel Stadium to face the Tribe of William and Mary. Jimmy Laycock's been there many years, and historically, the historical city, historically for the Tribe, always disciplined. They're a type of program that they don't beat themselves. You've got to beat them at your own game.
Right, no question. You go, especially when you go on the road and you play a team like this. It's very disciplined, very well coached on the road. Physical football team. Wants to run the football, be able to throw play action pass, play great defense. We're going to have to play a very, very polished ball game.
Kendall Anderson is a guy who is emerging in this league. The week that the Dukes are playing at SMU, he was starting to go to town. The last 4 games, he's rushed for 615 yards and is now the conference leader, averaging 128. Stopping the run, you got to stop Anderson first.
Yeah, no question. And they've got other backs too, obviously. So we have to do a great job of stopping the run. And again, I always can tie in the run game to the play action pass game. So we got to be able to do both because they complement each other. So, all right, what we do in the game is going to be really important on early down, stopping the run and putting them behind the chains.
All righty, and another thing about William and Mary, the running game with Anderson, he's, like as I said, he's about rushed for 900 yards, only 12 for losses. So they're most of the time they're on the positive side of things. They have a good, experienced offensive line. Andrew Jones is the center. He's an all-conference performer. Their 2 junior tackles are three-year starters.
Right.
So really it starts with them on their offensive line.
No
the defensive line of the Dukes, what do you expect out of them this week?
Well, it'll be a physical game up front again. We'll have to control the line of scrimmage. They've done a good job. I think we did a good job last year against those guys. We got to continue to get better. We've got to play obviously better than we played this past week, but I expect our guys to step up to the challenge this week.
This is the top team defensively in the league in overall, just allowing 15 points a game and 290 yards per game as well. The best defensive team that we've seen? Can you say that?
Well, one of the best. We've got several really good defensive teams in this league. So, it's going to be one of the best. We have to find a way to formation and get our skilled players the ball and be able to run the football.
What is their base defense?
Well, they're a 4-3 team, and they're going to play a lot of quarters coverage. They're going to mix in some zone pressures just like they did to us last year. Again, they're going to be very sound at what they do. We can't turn the ball over, and we've got to be able to run the football.
It sounds like the same formula week in and week out, which, no surprise, it's been successful thus far. The Dukes at William and Mary. Kickoff is 4 o'clock from Zabel Stadium. For Coach Everett Withers, I'm Kurt Dudley. Thank you for joining us this week on the Coach Everett Withers Show.